Oh Yo guys, I don't know how this has happened, but we've ended up on the motorway. You're right everyone, welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to be driving to the shops because my phone charger's decided to break and I've been living off my portable charger for a little while, so I figured it was time that I actually came and bought a proper cable. And whilst we're on the way there, I'm going to be talking about how I'm feeling about the Aygo after 3 months of ownership. So the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to the Aygo is the fuel economy. And when it comes to fuel economy, these cars really just can't be beat. Like, I believe it does 65 miles per gallon, which is just crazy. And I don't drive that much, so you might have to take this with a pinch of salt. But I've had this car for 3 months and I filled up half a tank twice. So I've basically filled up 1 tank in 3 months of ownership. And especially these days, with the current prices of petrol, you know, these are the sort of things you got to think about. Especially if you're looking at a first car and, you know, you're on a budget. You don't want to be spending all your money on petrol because, you know, buying a car itself and insurance is all expensive enough as it is. So with the Aygo, fuel is really not a worry at all. And yeah, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 when it comes to fuel economy. And next, what I want to talk about is the space. So obviously the Aygo, it's a pretty small car. I had a funny comment on one of my old videos when I went to the petrol station and got out of the car, and the Aygo just looked absolutely tiny. And I think the comments are something like, how tall are you and how do you fit in such a small car? And to answer the question, I'm 6'1" on a good day. And when I told people that I was looking at buying an Aygo, pretty much everyone said the same thing, and that was something along the lines of, oh, it's going to be too small, like you're going to need something bigger. But I've really not felt any problems with the space at all. It's like the TARDIS. I mean, I've never watched Doctor Who. I'm just LARPing right now. But I think that's the whole deal, right? Like, it looks small from the outside, but when you're on the inside, it's big or something. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just yapping. But what I'm trying to say is, the Aygo is a lot more spacious on the inside than you would think. And I'm saying Aygo in this video, but these things will apply to the 107 and the C1 as well, considering that they're the same car inside. Like, my head's nowhere near touching the ceiling here. I've easily got like this much room. I guess that's like about 5 inches room above my head. And as for leg room, it's not even like I have my seat all the way back at all. Like, I have it probably about half the way back and it's just comfy. So I can't fault it at all when it comes to leg room or space. What I will say though when it comes to space is that there's really not a lot of space in the back. There's more than enough room in the front, but in the back, like, I've sat in the back a couple times just to test it out, and like my head was pressed against the ceiling and my legs were firmly against the front seats. And you can say the same for the boot as well. So I've actually picked someone up from the airport in this car and a large suitcase wouldn't fit in the boot, so we had to like lie it across the back seats. The boot is really pretty small. So yeah, when it comes to space, the front seats are completely fine, but if you're looking at having passengers in the back, or if you're looking at, you know, taking a lot of luggage, it might not be completely ideal. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the functionalities of the car. So my model's from 2012 and it doesn't have any sort of lane assistance or cruise control, nothing fancy like that. And it doesn't come with Bluetooth or anything. But to be honest, like, stuff like that doesn't really bother me. Like, especially for your first car as well. I find that the Aygo is like the perfect car to teach you how to drive. You don't really have anything to rely on and it's very bare bones, which, you know, is something that I personally like about the car. So my Aygo is called the Fire Aygo, aka El Fuego, as my dad likes to call it. So it does have AC and it comes with a rev counter as well. But depending on which model you're looking at, it might not come with AC or a rev counter. And I know that you can retrofit the rev counter. I'm not sure how easy it is, but if I was looking at buying an Aygo personally, I'd be looking at one with AC and with a rev counter fitted. Especially if you're looking at the Aygo as your first car, the rev counter is a massive help when it comes to not stalling. And the AC, I would definitely recommend, because if you're in the UK, then you know. But with this hot weather that we've been having recently, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have the AC. So just to round off, when it comes to functionality, the Aygo is of course very bare bones. It's very raw, and as a first car, that's something that I personally like about it. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the price of an Aygo. And I personally paid around £2,500 for my Aygo, which I think is on the expensive side, but it had a good MOT history, so I was willing to pay a little extra. Oh, yo guys, I don't know how this has happened, but we've ended up on the motorway. I missed my turn, and now we're on the motorway, I guess. So yeah, this has turned into a bit of a special video, I guess. First time on the motorway. I was not expecting this. Yo. What is this video? How have I ended up on the motorway? Sneaky little rev match there. Yo. Shout out Waze for the speed camera warning. How have I ended up on it? And we're exiting here. Okay. First motorway done and dusted, I guess. And next up, we're going to talk about the looks. And obviously this is subjective, but I do like the way that the Aygo looks. This is it from the back. I do like the way that the boot is just this whole black glass panel. This is it from the other side. Depending on which trim you get, you'll get alloy wheels, which is pretty cool. And then of course the front view. At the end of the day, it's just a funky little car. And if you're into that sort of thing, then you'll definitely love the Aygo. Add to that as well, parking is so easy in this car because it's so small. Like, look at this, pretty wonky parking, but we're nowhere near the line on either side. I secured the chargers, by the way. Apple wanted £20 for one of these, and guess how much these were? £2 each. You know, they say buy cheap, buy twice, but when you're paying a tenth of the price, buying twice is nice. That's what I say. Man, going on that motorway really messed up my route. I had to go to a completely different shopping centre than I'd planned. But thankfully we made it with like 5 minutes to spare. So yeah, as I was saying about the price before I was rudely interrupted by a motorway, you can get a good example of an Aygo for like £1,500, maybe even cheaper. And if you can get a good deal on an Aygo, then I'd say it's probably the best value for money you're going to get with a first car. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the reliability. Again, I can't fault the Aygo at all when it comes to reliability. I've had this car for 3 months and I've only had one thing go wrong with it. And that was a tiny little thing that I was able to fix with things that I had lying around the house in like half an hour. I'll link the video here if you want to know exactly what went wrong with it, but it was nothing big at all. And yeah, these cars are completely bulletproof. And especially because they share parts with the C1 and the 107. If anything does go wrong, they're just so cheap to fix. And the final thing I want to talk about is the speed. And going on the motorway there's really brought this to the forefront of my attention. Because when I went on the dual carriageway for the first time, which when I'm filming this video was yesterday by the way, I was not expecting to go straight to a motorway after going on a dual carriageway for the first time. I felt that the Aygo was slow off the mark. As you'll see in that dual carriageway video, basically you go from a red light straight to a 50-mile-an-hour dual carriageway. Like, the Aygo does take a little while to get going, but once you are moving, I don't think the Aygo's speed is too much of a worry at all. I mean, like as you saw in the motorway section before, when I pulled onto the motorway for the first time, like completely unexpected, with no prep time at all, we were able to get up to speed. Wow, that was nice. And it's not like the car struggled at all at them speeds. So I would say that when it comes to speed, it takes a little while to get moving, but once you are moving, I don't think the speed is a cause for concern at all. So, to conclude, my thoughts on the Aygo after 3 months, and to be honest, I just like this car more and more every day, and I'm really glad that I chose this for my first car. To sum it up, it's so economical, it's insane. The value for money is just unbelievable. I'm personally a fan of the looks, you know, it's kind of quirky and cool. And yeah, after going on the motorway, I can give my full opinion on the speed, and I didn't find it to be a problem at all just then. So I'm going to wrap the video up here, and I hope it's been a good insight into what it's like to own an Aygo as your first car. If you have any other questions about the Aygo, then feel free to let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one.